I think maybe our angel is not ready for this world yet. That's why we should keep waiting.
I've achieved by winning 2 trophies, one in school and one at home. I'm acting for Gundu. I mean, your own neighbor has followed you up to here.
In today's book, Baraka and the Big Worry Cloud, we meet Baraka, who also gets worried too much and too often.
Rex rarely really right.
Rex rarely really right.
And today I have a simple recipe for you. So I'll fry my sausages and then I'll garnish them after.
Hold on tightly and nurture it, but allow it to grow.
How do you heal? How do you move on, whether it's in relationships, whether it's with family, with friends?
So when I hear about healing, one, I believe it's all about clarity and stability when you're making your decisions.
Loving is not a feeling. It is an action. It is to give that love that is required. And so that is why I believe you cannot at all. Where's it pair? You can't keep love that person and you're still healing.
I put my hope in you, for you are the lifter of my head.
This is a conversation about changing systems, rebuilding dignity, and of course, proving that there definitely is life beyond the bars.
Shock on me. This officer says to me, I'm actually here to arrest you. From that point on, the wrongful prosecution begins. I am a convicted felon in this country. The friends I had, all the contacts, everyone has disappeared. So reality checks in. And it's a very harsh reality. Poverty does not equate criminality.
Yeah.
So let us change that in this country and see to it that the opposite of justice is not inequality.
I would whisper I do to my beautiful ebony eyes.
So we're going on a summer holiday to make our dreams come true. I'm easy like Sunday morning. Tell me how am I supposed to live without you?
I've got me.
Good afternoon and a warm welcome to KBC Lunchtime News. Many thanks indeed for joining us on this 29th day of January 2026. We have a detailed bulletin right here for you, and remember, it's Data Protection Week. So on the business segment, we will be having Martha Mora, who is a Senior Data Protection Officer at Family Bank. How do you protect your money, and especially with the rise of many digital apps and many financial services also leaning on data? So let's do this. My name is Bentro Njue. Lucy Maura is a sign language interpreter for this live newscast. We are live on our social media spaces, including our KBC digital app. A newly installed oxygen manufacturing plant at Kerugoya County Referral Hospital is transforming critical care services in Kirinyaga County while saving taxpayers millions of shillings previously spent on external oxygen procurement. Speaking during a routine inspection of the facility, County Director of Medical Services, Dr. Esbon Gakuo, said the plant has the capacity to generate up to 1,000 liters of medical-grade oxygen every 24 hours at a purity level of 95%, which meets international medical standards. This, he said, has eliminated the hospital's previous reliance on oxygen cylinders, which were not only costly but also inconvenient and posed safety risk during transportation and handling.
This medical oxygen plant does not only serve Kerugoya County Referral Hospital. We're able to supply oxygen to all our hospitals and health centers and dispensary within the county, as we have more than 300 oxygen cylinders that we have with us. And we want to urge all residents of Kirinyaga County to come and utilize the services that we have within Kerugoya County Referral Hospital and all the other facilities within Kirinyaga County. For any resident who's a fully paid up SHA member, we do not charge any extra shilling for any of our inpatient services, including all the high quality services that we have within this facility and all the other public hospitals within Kirinyaga County.
Still on health, Vihiga County Referral Hospital Management has issued a warning threatening to dismiss health workers who engage in cartel-like practices that undermine healthcare service delivery. The hospital's Chief Executive Officer, Titus Mumia, says his office has received complaints that some staff are deliberately damaging critical medical equipment and redirect patients to private health facilities for personal financial gain.
Nikisuspect mtu yeyote ananihujumu ata step aside ili sisi tuendelee kuserve watu tukiangalia hiyo maneno yake, kwa sababu hatuwezi kukaa hospitali wagonjwa wanatafuta services na wengine wamekuja kuhujumu na kizungu mingi, alafu wengine wakishafanya hivyo wanakimbia kwa godfathers. So kenye tumekubaliana na executive na governor amesema, amepeana onyo na kwamba kama unajua unahujumu services kwa hospitali kwa sababu kuna godfather, then utaenda na huyo godfather.
Still on health, and stakeholders in the vaccine manufacturing sector across Africa are accelerating efforts to bridge financing, skills and regulatory gaps in a bid to boost vaccine production following a sharp decline in donor funding. With Africa the bulk of the vaccines and essential medicines, experts warn that the continent remains highly vulnerable to global supply disruptions, price volatility and geopolitical pressures. The concerns dominated discussions at the East Africa Regional Global Health Security Summit held in Ruiru, Kiambu County, which brought together more than 1,000 stakeholders from government, research institutions and the private sector.
One of the things that we are doing is pushing the member states to improve on their preparedness, prevention, and response mechanisms. One of the most important things is that the member states need to realign their domestic financing, platform. And so we have produced a guidance.
We are focusing on 3 products, and each of those products is for routine immunization of children. So the initial capacity, as you produce those products, is enough to supply the country but also we have capacity to export.
The Vision 2030 itself has squarely put it in the social pillar. That is all very good. But in the global space now, that is called health security space.
We talk about the slide of 10,000 manufacturers in India and only 542 in Africa. Do we need to reinvent the wheel? We don't. What did India do in 1963? India said to people that we got this many people, multinationals, you want to sell your products, put the factory here, start manufacturing here, and that's the first technology transfer you ever got.
Very well, away from health matters, now U.S. Deputy Secretary of State Christopher Lando, alongside the Interior Cabinet Secretary Onesmus Kipchumba Murkomen, today presiding over a ceremony to honor the gallant men and women in the Haiti mission at the National Police College in Embakasi A campus. And currently speaking is DIG Gilbert Masengeli. Let's listen in.
These skills have enabled our officers to integrate seamlessly into international missions such as Haiti MSS to represent Kenya with distinction. We remain committed to sustaining this partnership, to institutionalizing the lessons learned so as to enhance both our local security operations and future international deployments. I thank the United States of America, the government, for this continued support to our officers and the exemplary service to Kenya and to the global community. It is now my distinguished honor to welcome the Inspector General of National Police Service, Sir Douglas Kanja, to give his remarks. Sir, welcome.
Thank you very much, Mr. Masegeri, the Deputy Inspector General in charge of the Administration Police Service, the United States Deputy Secretary of State, Mr. Christopher Radau, the Cabinet Secretary, Minister of Interior, Honorable Kipchumba Murkomen, the Commander of the United States Command General, the National Security Advisor, Ambassador Dr. Monica Juma, the Deputy Inspector General in charge of the Kenya Police Langat, the representative of the DCI, all the other senior officers present, distinguished guests, officers from Haiti, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It is my honor to welcome you to the National Police College Embakasi A campus and to warmly receive the United States Deputy Secretary of State, Mr. Christopher Radau, on this very important occasion. Your presence today reflects the strong and enduring partnership between Kenya and the United States, a partnership built on security cooperation and grounded in shared values of peace, professionalism, and respect for the rule of law. Ladies and gentlemen, the United States government remains a key strategic partner of the National Police Service in strengthening our capacity, professionalism, and operational effectiveness through sustained support in training, technology, equipment, and funding. A notable milestone is the multi-million-dollar investment by the United States Bureau of International Narcotics and Law Enforcement Affairs, INL, in collaboration with UNODC to modernize the National Police College Kiganjo, enhancing training infrastructure and curriculum for modern policing. Similarly, Kenya's deployment to the Multinational Security Support Mission in Haiti, now known as the Gang Suppression Force, stands as a defining moment in the international policing cooperation. This mission demonstrated Kenya's readiness to shoulder global responsibility, the confidence placed in our service by the international community. We are deeply grateful to the United States government for the critical logistical operation and strategic support extended to our officers. Together with the coordination of the United Nations and the commitment of other partner nations, this support enabled Kenyan police officers to operate effectively in a highly complex security environment. Our officers played a central role in restoring security, reopening ports, airports, and key road networks, training Haitian police, and stabilizing communities across the Caribbean country. Throughout the mission, the first cohort of 215 officers, represented by the 60 officers present here today, upheld the highest standards of discipline, professionalism, respect for human rights, reinforcing Kenya's reputation as a trusted contributor to global peace and security. Distinguished guests, beyond Haiti, our cooperation with the United States remains particularly strong in the areas of counterterrorism. Through the collaboration with the Anti-Terrorism Police Unit, the ATPU, the United States has supported specialized training, kitting, and equipment provision, strengthening Kenya's ability to prevent and respond to terrorist threats. We also acknowledge the role of the United States Department of State and Terrorism Assistance, ATA program, which has enhanced the capacity of Kenyan officers through targeted training in crisis response, explosive detection, and protection security. Under the initiative, the Special Program for Embassy Augmentation Response, SPEAR, has strengthened security at diplomatic facilities, including the United States Embassy in Nairobi, contributing to broader diplomatic security efforts. Our partnership further extends to counter narcotics and transnational crimes, particularly through collaboration with the United States Drug Enforcement Administration, IDA, which continues to support the anti-narcotics unit in combating drug trafficking and money laundering. The Directorate of Criminal Investigations, DCI, also benefits from long-standing cooperation with the U.S. agencies, including the FBI, Department of State, and Department of Homeland Security in counterterrorism, cybercrime, anti-human trafficking, and complex investigations. This includes the Joint Terrorism Task Force, Kenya, advanced training at the FBI Academy in Quantico, and the Transnational Organized Crime Unit, TOCU, focused on combating drugs and human trafficking and other cross-border criminal activities, as well as sustained support for forensic and digital investigation capabilities. We equally appreciate the United States support to the Anti-Human Trafficking and Child Protection Unit of the DCI, including collaboration with the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, which has strengthened Kenya's response to child exploitation and trafficking. The National Police Service greatly appreciates the continued support of the government of the United States in strengthening our operational capacity, particularly through the training and equipping of the Rapid Response Team, RRT, of the General Service Unit. This partnership has seen the provision of vehicles, modern equipment, specialized training facilities, and advanced drone technology for intelligence gathering and surveillance. These critical resources have significantly enhanced our ability to respond swiftly and effectively to emerging security threats, thereby improving public safety across the country. As we build on these gains, we respectively appeal to the government of the United States to further consider supporting the National Police Service through the provision of aircraft for air operations. Air support will greatly enhance a rapid deployment, timely crime interventions, search and rescue missions, and surveillance in hard-to-reach areas. Such capability will be a game changer in our collective efforts to combat transnational crimes, terrorism, and other evolving security challenges. Similarly, the Administration Police Service has benefited immensely from the United States support in the training and equipping of the Border Patrol Unit, the BPU, and the Special Operations Group, SOG. These specialized units have played a critical role in strengthening security along our borders and in high-risk operations across the country. Their improved preparedness, professionalism, and stands as a testament to the strong partnership between Kenya and the United States in promoting regional stability and national security. Ladies and gentlemen, the partnership between Kenya and the United States also places strong emphasis on accountability, reform, public trust. Through collaboration with our Internal Affairs Unit, United States supports continues to strengthen transparency and the professionalism within the National Police Service. In conclusion, I would like to express the National Police Service heartfelt appreciation to the government of Kenya, the government of the United States, and all our international partners for their unwavering support. We remain a reliable, professional, and dedicated and collaborative partner in promoting peace and security, both nationally and internationally. Thank you, and may God bless you all. Thank you. Let me also invite Dr. Monica Juma to come and continue the program. Dr. Monica Juma, please.
Thank you, IG. Mr. Christopher Landau, Deputy Secretary of State, CS Murkomen, IG, DIGs present, senior officers, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. In 2023, Kenya took what many around the world saw as a leap of faith, a decision to deploy more than 12,000 kilometers away from home. This decision, driven by a firm commitment of His Excellency the President to our responsibility as a member of the international community in good standing, to respond to the call of the Haitian people for international solidarity and assist in salvaging that nation from the scourge of gang control and insecurity. The confidence to deploy was inspired by Kenya's indisputable contribution and experience in international peace support operations. Kenya has deployed across the world, from East Timor to the former Yugoslavia, in many theaters on the African continent, Namibia, Liberia, Sierra Leone, Eritrea, Ethiopia, Sahrawi, and many other places, in all a total of 46 missions. The deployment in Haiti was driven by another strong imperative: the confidence that was drawn from the strategic partnership and relationship with and assurance from the United States of America, which has and continues to anchor this historic deployment, first as the multinational security support mission, and now as the gang suppression force. On 24th of June 2024, the first contingent of specialized police officers arrived in Port-au-Prince on 25th. I had the privilege of being on that flight with this that conveyed these gallant officers. Since then, 3 other contingents have arrived in Haiti, including 20 women from the SWAT team. I think that's important for me to say. It therefore fills me with immense sense of satisfaction, noting that the MSS, now GSF, delivered on its mandate. And this because of its professionalism, but also the invaluable support from the US government, as well as the determined efforts of Kenya, alongside other personnel and resource contributing countries, that today we gather here to honor the effort of this contingent and their counterparts who are still in Haiti today. I also wish to make note of the support accorded to the force commander by the US that has continued to respond to his requests in a timely manner, and particularly when critical incidences occur. Chris, your presence here today is deeply appreciated and goes to further prove a special relationship between Kenya and the US. The recognition by the US of our police officers who deployed in Haiti for their bravery, acknowledging their professionalism and discipline, is deeply appreciated. I also want to thank you for making time for this. We believe that the successor mission will build on the successes and lessons learned from the MSS and will continue to help the Haitian government and people as they endeavor to restore durable peace and security to their nation. I also want to add my voice in commending these officers for the remarkable achievement in support of this historic mission. Finally, I would be remiss if I did not thank all the officers that have worked in interagency formations, particularly between Kenya and the US, and the UN Secretariat, especially in the management of the Trust Fund, and also the IG and his senior leadership for supporting the successful deployment. This process has been demanding. It has involved sacrifices, some of these ultimate sacrifices for which we shall remain forever grateful. It is now my pleasure to invite the CS of Interior and Coordination of National Government to make his remarks, and thereafter to invite the Deputy Secretary of State to formally recognize and address these distinguished officers. Honorable Minister.
Thank you very much, Dr. Monica. Your Excellency Christopher Landau, the United States Deputy Secretary of State, Ambassador Monica Juma, IG Douglas Kanja, senior government officials present from both Kenya and the United States, distinguished guests, our gallant officers present, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Good afternoon once again. I am pleased to welcome you all to this special ceremony held in recognition of our gallant officers who served in the mission to Haiti. It's a great honor and privilege indeed that this important occasion has been organized and graced by our great friends, the United States of America, here represented by you, Your Excellency Christopher Landau. Thank you very much for your thoughtfulness, for your friendship, and for your commitment to international peace. Your presence here today underscores the deep and long-lasting partnership between Kenya and the United States, which now spans over 6 decades and is anchored on shared democratic values, economic ties, and strong security cooperation, further elevated by Kenya's designation as a major non-NATO ally. We are grateful for the immense logistical and technical support extended by the United States government to Haitian mission. We also highly value the partnership between the United States and the National Police Service in training and equipping our officers, including, as has been mentioned already, by the IG Anti-Terrorism Assistance Program, which have benefited our officers from the General Service Unit, Border Patrol Unit, the Special Operation Group, and other specialized units. This occasion speaks to the values that Kenya upholds in international solidarity, collective responsibility for global peace, and unwavering commitment to the rule of law. Ladies and gentlemen, only 3 months ago, we gathered here to celebrate the return of our 230 gallant officers from Haiti. Today, we return once again to appreciate their service and reaffirm Kenya's continuous commitment to the people of Haiti and to international peace. The mission has contributed significantly to restoring order, securing critical infrastructure, reopening major roads, and enabling humanitarian access to Port-au-Prince. First deployed in June 2023 to confront violent gang activity our officers were widely hailed for their professionalism, courage, and restraint. As those officers returned home, a new rotation seamlessly took over, demonstrating Kenya's resolve that even with the transition from multinational security support mission to the gang suppression force, Kenya would not disengage in a disorganized or irresponsible manner, in line with the pledge by President William Ruto, the President of Kenya. The discipline, integrity, and dedication of our officers has contributed in a small way in restoring order in Haiti. Their respect for dignity and rights of the people they served has been extremely exemplary, with no incidents of human rights violation or abuse. This achievement speaks volumes about the character, value, leadership, and training of our police officers, and reinforces Kenya's reputation as responsible and principled contributor to international security operations. Kenya continues to play a leading role in the gang suppression force. Our officers, drawn from various formations and specialized units of the National Police Service, are an integral part of the contingent currently deployed on the ground. The establishment of the gang suppression force marked an important transition to a stronger and better resourced mission. We are confident that the 5,500 strong GSF with enhanced capacity and authority will do even more to reclaim territory, restore state authority, and enable the normalization of life and economic activity of the Haitians. And for this, we want to thank President Trump and the United States government, here represented by Mr. Landau, for the effort and the work they have done towards enhancing this mission in Haiti by establishment of the gang suppression force. The effectiveness and impact of the GSF operations depends significantly on the availability of adequate and appropriate equipment and resources. And Your Excellency Landau, you know this, and it is our contribution to this mission, to the GSF as Kenya, is to share the experiences that these men and women went through. Especially these are men, but there are women who are in Haiti as we speak. Like Dr. Juma said, such support enhances operational efficiency and instills confidence among the personnel. So if there's something we insist as Kenya and we share as experience, is that it is important. It's important to deploy the 5,500 officers, but it's also extremely important to make sure that there is appropriate equipment and resources to support them. We continue to advocate for strong coordination mechanism between the GSF and the Haitian National Police, covering anti-gang operations, capacity building, humanitarian access, and strict adherence to human rights due diligence policy. Kenya has also, over the years, engaged constructively with the UN Women, exploring areas of cooperation on gender-sensitive policing, addressing gender-based violence, and enhancing awareness and sensitization. These efforts underline our commitment to inclusive, rights-based security intervention at home here and abroad. The operational experience gained by our officers in Haiti is invaluable. It strengthens Kenya's capacity to address challenges such as terrorism, transnational organized crime, drug trafficking, human smuggling, and other evolving security threats at home and abroad. These lessons will be reinvested in our national security institutions to enhance our readiness and resilience. Kenya reaffirms its unwavering commitment to the Haiti mission, one that is helping restore confidence, revive economic activity, and normalize life for the Haitian people. We look forward to working closely with the United States and other partners to advance peace, strengthen our security partnership, and deepen commercial and people-to-people ties between our two nations. And I must say, Your Excellency, that we are very excited as a country. We're very happy with the partnership that exists between our two countries. We are happy that this partnership has been strengthened by the recent engagement between President Ruto of Kenya and President Donald Trump of the United States. And we believe that this partnership will continue being upscaled and strengthened even as we deal with the Haitian situation. You also know that we have other engagements nationally and regionally to strengthen peace in Horn of Africa, East Africa, Africa, and the world. To our officers, you have served with honor and distinction. Thank you very much for a job well done. And I repeat, thank you very much. To our partners, we thank you for standing with Kenya. To our chief guest and all distinguished guests, karibu sana, and thank you for continued support. It's now my singular duty and pleasure to invite His Excellency Honorable Christopher Landau to address this gathering. Welcome, Your Excellency.
Thank you very much. Please be seated. Honorable Cabinet Secretary for the Interior and National Administration, Honorable National Security Advisor, my friend Monica Juma, Honorable Inspector General of the National Police Service, Honorable members of the National Police Service, officers, Honorable members of the Government of Kenya, ladies and gentlemen. I've come 12,000 kilometers myself, I think, the opposite direction of when you all went to Haiti. I've come this direction, and I will share a secret with you. I have had many meetings with very important and distinguished people in this country, including the President of Kenya and the Foreign Minister today. But the real reason for this trip was for me to stand here before each and every one of you and to recognize your service in Haiti and to thank you for your service in Haiti. You answered the call of your own government to go over there and police that very unfortunate country, provide some law and order, which you saw this firsthand has completely broken down in that country. But you also answered the call of the international community. And in particular, the United States was very eager to address this crisis in Haiti, which is part of our Western Hemisphere, so close to us. We have very dear brothers and sisters in the nation of Haiti. And I think this MSS mission really will stand as a tribute not only to the very close relation and cooperation between Kenya and the United States of America, but really to the successful operation of the international system, that when a country and a government loses the ability to provide basic law and order to its citizens, that the international community can respond effectively to that crisis. And I see that you each are wearing a patch saying MSS on your shoulder, also over your pocket. And I hope that you consider this a time well spent in your lives. I hope that this is something that you will be able to talk about to your family, your friends, perhaps your children and grandchildren someday, as a moment when you really heeded the call of your country and the international community and really made a difference. I don't need to tell those of you who have been on the ground in Haiti how rough the situation there is and what those poor people are going through. You've seen it all. You've probably seen more than you ever wanted to see. And the international community had a call to countries for forces to restore law and order in Haiti. Only one country really stepped up to the plate, and that was Kenya. And that was each and every one of you. So it is really necessary and proper for me to come all the way here to Kenya in person on behalf of President Trump, Secretary Rubio, and the people of the United States of America to recognize your heroic efforts that are giving the people of Haiti a chance. I think there is no way that the very fragile government in Haiti could have withstood the onslaught of these gangs, but for your presence there. And there were days it was very tricky, very dicey. I remember I had some phone calls with National Security Advisor Juma when it looked like the government might not even last through that day or the next day. And I'm quite sure, I say this with total conviction and honesty, that that government would not have survived but for your presence there. And I realize it was not always the easiest mission in terms of equipment and other resources, in terms of coordination. It didn't pan out exactly as originally contemplated. It was obviously a larger force that was contemplated, but the larger force that is going in now is the result of many lessons learned from your experience there, and would not have been possible but for your experience there. You all know that. I don't need to tell you this. You saw what is going on, and I think we looked very, very carefully at the drawbacks you faced, the shortcomings, both in terms of your mandate from the United Nations, the resources that were provided to you. But I'll say one thing that was never in short supply was your heroism and dedication. And that's why I am here to recognize and pay tribute to each and every one of you. So thank you for that. I want to just reflect briefly on the nature of our security cooperation. This mission that you all have just completed in Haiti and that your colleagues will be completing over the next 2 months and a few days reflects, I think, a very high level of cooperation and coordination between Kenya and the United States. And I want to underscore for you that this has benefits not only for the people of Haiti, but also for the people of Kenya and the United States. This morning, I had the opportunity to visit the August 7th Memorial Park in downtown Nairobi. And that park, as I'm sure you know, stands at the place where our former embassy stood in downtown Nairobi, that was destroyed by a terrorist bomb on August 7th, 1998, that killed more than 200 people, mostly Kenyans, many Americans as well, a few people of other nationalities. But a bomb doesn't know the difference between whether you're Kenyan or American. It doesn't know if you're Christian or Muslim. The security challenge that we face on the international stage, that our two countries face, are multi-varied. And they include the collapse of governments in places like Haiti, but it also includes conflicts and instability much closer to home. And I think this kind of level of cooperation can yield many benefits to your own country of Kenya. You are in a tricky part of the world. Again, you know this. Many of your neighbors are engulfed in conflicts of their own. Kenya stands out as a really bright beacon in this part of the world, and you have avoided many of the pitfalls that have led your brother and sister countries here in East Africa into instability and violence. And I think we have so much to be blessed for, to be in a country like Kenya that has had a security force, so that you don't have to think about things like other countries coming in and providing security in your country. You can do the job yourself in your country, and you do very well. And we are cooperating with you, not only in Haiti, but also here in Kenya, because we're on the same side of this struggle. And I just want to underscore that security is one of the main functions of a government. Why do people establish governments? Well, the most basic thing is you can go out of your house and you don't have to worry about getting shot, or you can send your children to school, you can go to church and worship, and that is not possible everywhere in the world. And ultimately, if you don't have security, you can't have economic development. No company is going to invest and build a factory if they don't know that their people can get safely to work. If the products that that factory produces cannot get safely to market, cannot get to a port, an airport, or a seaport. So ultimately, security is necessary for economic development. So in a sense, what each of you is doing by providing security for your country and others is really providing jobs for your own family and friends here as well. Because there's no way that those jobs would exist if there were not security in this country. And so it's a very noble mission, and I just want to commend you for what you have done. I also want to take a moment to recognize the fact that not all of you returned from this mission. And I would just request a moment of silence for all of us to reflect on and to honor those from among your ranks who did not return from Haiti, for whom we also honor. I suppose some of you knew these people who did not come back, and may God rest their souls. May God bless each and every one of you. May God bless Kenya. May God bless the United States of America. Thank you very much.
Live from Embakasi Police Training College, that has been U.S. Deputy Secretary of State Christopher Landau, of course flanked by our top security officers, that is including the Interior Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen, Monica Juma, and also the IG and the DIG as well. Allow me, for the last 30-40 minutes you were listening to that speech, and especially honoring those gallant men and women who have been on a peace mission to Haiti. And allow me just to point out two or three without diluting the contents of that speech, is that Kenya and the USA will continue their partnership, and also for mending and commending the heroism and dedication of our police officers who are in Haiti, and also remembering those who did not make it back. And also on the Kenyan part, they have asked for more collaboration, especially to deal with the new emerging security threats which we are finding each and every time. It's also good to note that we had 20 women from the Special Weapons and Tactics team, that is the SWAT team, in that mission, and Kenya has already participated in 46 missions in the region, in the continent, and also beyond. More of that in our subsequent bulletin, and thank you so much indeed for keeping it Channel 1. Moving on, the county government of West Pokot has enhanced fistula awareness campaigns, urging residents to bring out women affected for treatment and surgery. According to the county's health department, 30 women are diagnosed with the condition every month in the county, with 3,000 new cases reported annually across the country. A condition that is causing stigma and isolation, but it is preventable through treatment and surgery. West Pokot Governor Simon Kachapin said the county is committed to reducing the cases by offering free fistula surgeries.
Tunajua wanaumia sana wengi mle nyumbani, wanajificha, manake ile shema ambayo wako nayo, ile aiba ambayo wako nayo inafanya wajifiche, wasijitokeze. Katika nchi yetu ya Kenya, tukiangalia zile takwimu kila mwaka, kati ya kina mama 2,000 na 3,000 wanapatikana na hiyo ugonjwa na suri.
Bado tungali na kina mama wengi ambao wanapata shida ya fistula, na sasa tunafanya mipango mizuri ili tufanye kazi kwa ukaribu na members wa county assembly, ili labda tukue na isolated policy ya fistula.
Wako changa wanapata shida kwa sababu hawajakomaa na hawajakuwa watu wazima ambao wamefika umri wa kuwa wazazi. Hao pia wanaathirika kwa sababu bado umri mdogo, wanaathirika kwa wakati wanajifungua, kwamba watu wetu waepukane na mambo haya matatu ambaye nimesema, wajifungue katika mahospitali ili wapate huduma ambaye ni sawa.
Very well, at about 48 minutes past the top of the hour, we do for our first break. But when we come back, we still have more news, including the interactive segment. I told you today we are looking at data protection. This is the Data Protection Week. And in studio is Martha Mora, who is the Senior Data Protection Officer all the way from Family Bank. That discussion and much, much more after this break.
Kila Jumamosi saa 1 jioni kuna sauti mbili zinazotawala anga ya habari. Dada wawili pacha, magwiji wa ulingo wa habari.
Karibu sana katika Dira ya Magwiji.
Magwiji kwa upekee wa sauti, mtindo na maarifa.
Katika enzi ya sasa iliyosheheni mabadiliko,
tuko ange kukuletea taarifa, fafanuzi kutoka kila pembe ya dunia.
Jamila na Wanjiru wanakupeleka kwenye safari ya taarifa, uchambuzi na uhodari wa matukio yanayotikisa dunia.
Tunajizatiti kukupa taarifa sahihi na kwa wakati.
Habari kwa jicho la kitaalam.
Tuna hamu na hamamu katika kuuliza maswali stahiki yenye kuwajibisha.
Na sauti ya uhalisia.
Tupe sikio na macho kwa taarifa za kina.
Dira ya Magwiji, pacha wa habari, kila Jumamosi saa 1 jioni hapa KBC Channel 1.
Nasema wewe ni manzi. Manzi ya pasta ama manzi ya nani hapa?
Shemanzi, Asha kanisani.
Wewe ni muamini wa hiyo kanisa?
Hapana.
Very nice. Hiyo ni ya kwanza, maka 3 walimheshimiwa.
Nimekwambia uulize maswali.
Nikieleza hii mahakama, mimi hiyo pesa nilikuja nikachukua nikatoa, nikawa kiondoo ilikuwa imechaa. Nikatoa nikaweka kwa mfuko ndio zisimwakike. Nitakuwa naeleza mahakama ulangu.
Sheria ya kanisa pale pakijaa anaruhusiwa kuchukua pesa yote.
Sasa ningewacha simwakike mheshimiwa kusema
ulikuwa
unatoa katika mifuko ya tai. Wewe ni Asha wa hiyo kanisa?
Aje hapana, mimi ni Islam.
Very good. Walk out. Usiniletee Kiislamu hapa.
Arda?
Yes.
Wiki hii kwenye Mkulima tunaangazia ufugaji wa nzi wa BSF.
Tunajifunza mbinu nafuu ya uzalishaji wa chakula cha mfugo.
Hii ndio tunaita black soldier fly larvae.
Aha.
Huyu ndio mdudu ambaye ndio chakula ya kuku. Na naweza kueleza sio chakula tu wa kuku wa mifugo ama kitu kingine. Pia wanadamu pia.
Wow.
Ni chakula yetu. Hivi karibuni tutakuwa tunaitisha chapati BSF. Ama ugali BSF.
Wow, sio.
BSF bado inakuja kutackle climate change.
Ungana nasi Jumamosi saa 10:30 hapa KBC Channel 1.
Kwa mseto kamili wa kilimo.
Welcome back to Lunchtime News. We are in the interactive segment and you bear me witness. We've taken a break for about 1 or 2 minutes, and in that 1 or 2 minutes, maybe you or someone has either swapped, tapped, or even used the financial digital space. Well, how secure is that digital space? Of course, now your data, your personal data, is more or less like your new currency, and we have to guard those vaults. And joining me in studio is Martha Mora again, who is a Senior Data Protection Officer at Family Bank. Karibu sana the program. Maybe for our Kenyans and everyone who is watching, when you talk about personal data, what are we talking about, and what should we be keen to look out for?
So when we talk about personal data, we talk about information that relates to a human being directly or indirectly. So there are common identifiers such as names, ID numbers, KRA pins, passport numbers, NHIF, NSSF. Then we have the not so common identifiers such as IP addresses and also device ID. Then we also have a category of sensitive personal data, which now requires a higher standard of protection. And of course, in the context of banking, this includes financial data such as account numbers, loan balances, transaction history, banking statements, and also information relating to anything that, or any interaction that a customer has with a bank in terms of their money. Then another category of sensitive personal data that we should be very keen about is health information, so medical records. And why is this? This is because any exposure or unauthorized access to medical data can lead to discrimination. It can lead to stigma. Then we have biometric data. So biometric data, we're talking about facial technology, we're talking about biometrics, we're talking about fingerprints, voice recognition, anything that is unique to an individual. Then we also have genetic data. So those are just some of the examples of sensitive personal data. And what we are saying is we need to protect all categories of this data, but this sensitive data requires a higher standard of protection because any unauthorized access would lead to an impact on an individual. Yes.
And why is data protection very essential, especially now that we have a lot of technology, and especially when it comes to matters banking or online services? We've even seen, I'm quite sure you've seen a message, you're being told that you're qualified for 50,000 shillings. You wonder even where did they get my information to even send me such kind of a message? Why is it so key to protect our data, especially now?
This would have its foundation in our constitution. So Article 31 of our constitution obligates the state to provide, or rather enable, this right to privacy to each individual. So that is why with that right to privacy as a fundamental human right, we have the Data Protection Act. So it becomes very important that we understand the foundation of data protection as from the right to privacy. So in terms of digital identity, so we have, if someone has accessed a service, has bought, has interacted with a marketplace online, has a digital, is interacting with digital tools, digital apps, they have a digital identity. So similarly to the way we protect ourselves, each day we wake up, we shower, we change, we brush our teeth, is the same way we should have a digital hygiene because we have a digital identity. We can call that your digital twin. So how does your digital twin look like? So are you protecting your digital twin? Are you oversharing information online? Because in the back end, we do not see, when we download an app and key in information, we do not see what happens in the back end. We have an ecosystem of players. We have big tech companies are waiting to profile you. We have data brokers who are willing to sell your data to the highest bidder. We have advertisement agencies who want to send to you promotional messages. So it is very important for us to think about what is the impact of us sharing this information online. The more information you share, so every time you click agree, I accept, you're actually giving away your power, because now we are moving from the traditional thinking of data protection as being hacked to more of how much control do I have over my personal information. So right now we are moving the conversation to privacy is power.
It's a good thing that you've mentioned that when you agree to anything, you're also relinquishing that power that you have, because you find a lot of people, terms and conditions accept, you just don't read everything, you find somebody clicking. We're talking about data protection. What are some of the digital risks that Kenya should be looking out for?
So some of the most common risks are social engineering. So when we talk about social engineering attacks, we're talking about tricks that scammers use to make people divulge personal information or click any links that are malicious. So for example, we talk about phishing. Phishing is where an email is sent to someone. For example, you can receive an email from somebody purporting to be a bank official telling you that we need to update your account, click on this attachment. That is a way in which scammers are making you to click links that will infect possibly your device, or divulge information that may divulge your login info. Then we have other tricks such as smishing. There's what we call smishing. Smishing is where, and it's very common right now with SMSs, where an SMS is sent to you, especially it could be during a certain period. So for example, right now kids are returning back to school. So you could get a text telling you you have won a voucher for your school fees. You need to give us your PIN for you to get this voucher, and it always has an aspect of urgency. So then you get people, because perhaps you are in financial distress, you may need this money to pay for school fees, you forget about these tricks. Then there is the other common one where scammers call you. They pretend to be people from maybe a service provider or even a bank, telling you that we need to update your account, or your account has issues, so can you give us your password? So it is very important for people to understand that these are some of the very common tricks that scammers use to be able to get into your accounts. And the ripple effect of that is that you will have your identity stolen, number one. If your identity is stolen, it could be used to commit criminal offenses. It could be used how to take loans. So if someone is taking a loan on your behalf, what does that mean? It means that you may not be able to honor your obligations in terms of your responsibilities. Also, it could give you a bad credit score because you're taking out loans and you're not able to repay those loans. So that is why it is very important that the public and customers are very vigilant on some of these tricks that scammers use. So that is more on the social engineering attacks.
Okay. Yes. Let's go to the figures themselves. I remember speaking to a data analyst and a security officer from one of the tech companies, Safaricom, and saying that they face up to millions of threats every month. What exactly are you doing in the financial sector, and especially Family Bank, to protect customers' data?
So in terms of what we are doing, of course, as an industry,
do you find these threats as well?
Every financial services, as long as you are operating in the digital space, there are always threats. And we have artificial intelligence right now, which means the threats are becoming more subtle. You cannot be able to figure out, and also the malicious actors, they are getting more efficient, because they are able now to use AI in a way that can harm the industry. So in terms of data protection and cybersecurity, this is it's not just a security or compliance or risk issue, it's also a leadership issue. That is why we find that in most banks we have this item as a very serious agenda from the board level, and also in terms of getting resources, personnel, and most banks actually have a security operations center where they monitor some of these threats that come in, and also how to deal with them. And there are also other forms of risk management processes, such as security audits, vulnerability tests. We also have very many technical measures, advanced security such as encryption, where we are able to ensure that any data is confidential, and in terms of confidentiality, integrity, and availability.
My director informs me we need to pick up the pace, but I want to ask you, what initiative have you as a bank taken to not only protect customers' data, but also to educate them? Because sometimes you find people don't even know how to protect the simplest of all, simple OTP.
As Family Bank, we are doing a lot in terms of education. We always send out SMS to our customers in terms of their passwords. So in terms of password management, we always advise them that your password is your secret. Ni siri yako. So you should not be able to share it with anybody else. And also in terms of ensuring that you report suspicious activities. So we tell them at no point will you be called to give out your PIN with your password by a bank official. There are proper channels for you to do that. And if someone calls you, you need to also ensure that you report that. And also with the advent of AI, right now we have fraud management systems. So with AI, you're able to pick up suspicious activities in real time, so that even if it's the responsibility of the customer to ensure that their data is protected in terms of password security and also PIN and OTP, we're also trying to monitor our environment to ensure that there's no money that is lost on their end. Yes.
Thank you so much. Unfortunately, we are out of time, but I would like to just give you 10 seconds for your closing statements.
So basically, this is a call to the public to ensure that we take our privacy more seriously. We ensure that our children are also protected, because right now with digital risks, you find that children are exposed online and they have a digital identity. And how would they feel? And this is a question to the public. How would they feel 10 years down the line that they find themselves on social media and they were not able to give that permission, or it's affecting their livelihood in that way that they never anticipated?
Thank you so much. That has been Martha Mora, who is a Senior Data Protection Officer at Family Bank. And again, thank you for pulling down the curtain on these digital shadows that you're finding that a lot of your information. Just Google your name, you'll find that you'll find yourself in some spots that you really didn't know you had access. But Kenyans, the vault is yours when it comes to the financial sector, when it comes to mobile and digital banking. The vault is in your hands. Make sure you are the only one with that key. Thank you so much for that discussion. And remember, a quick one, it is a Data Protection Week, so you should get in contact with your financial advisor or even your financial institution. They'll give you a lot in regards to how not only to protect your data, but also educate you on some of the risks that are there, especially in the wake of the AI. Let's now take a look at more news where the Council of Legal Education and the Kenya School of Law have teamed up to address concerns raised over the November 2025 Advocate Training Program examination pass rate. The concerns stem from certain mandatory academic requirements for law graduates before they can practice in Kenya. The partnership seeks to review the examination process, identify areas of improvement, and ensure alignment between the Kenya School of Law and the Legal Council examination standard. The Council Secretary, Professor Jack Muimali, emphasized the importance of quality legal education, while Kenya School of Law's Director Henry Mutai highlighted the need for coordination between the two institutions.
As we start the new academic year next week, the students are assured that what they are learning is what will be examined, and that what the setters will be basing the exam papers on is what we are also going to be teaching the students.
We'll always endeavor to assure and guarantee quality of legal education, but at the same time we'll do it with a humane face. We want to ensure that those who put effort into what is required actually receive a reward for the effort that they have put.
Elsewhere, the government is formulating a policy to regulate the usage of artificial intelligence, AI, in academia. The Secretary for ICT, E-Government and Digital Economy, Mary Kerema, has cited plagiarism, cybersecurity, transparency and accountability challenges in usage of AI that require solutions embedded in a robust legal framework. She was speaking during the graduation of 130 AI learners and the launch of an AI modeling center at Daystar University, where Kenyans were urged to embrace the new technology at workplaces so as not to be left out in its adoption across the world.
We need to collaborate, all of us, government, academia, the private sector, so that we can ask ourselves these hard questions on what is responsible use of technology, what is this about trust, and we've said that technology without trust, then we are bound to fail.
These are machines, they are generating data, but we must make sense out of this information. So that's where the problem is. People don't go to the next level to synthesize or to digest the information to make sense out of it. So in DESTA, we are doing our best to ensure that students don't just write papers.
As much as there's no rules that are really bounding to AI as we speak, but other countries internationally are really bringing up those rules so that we can stop having fake nudes, fake pictures, things like those, fake evidence.
Moving on, a businessman in Ol-Kalou constituency, Nyandarua County, and his son are in police custody after being arrested on suspicion of cattle theft. The duo, who were found ferrying beef, survived mob justice after irate members of the public torched their vehicle. It took the intervention of the police to calm down the members of the public. The beef is suspected to have originated from 3 cattle that were stolen from a homestead in Kangunda village. Nyandarua Police Commander Stella Cherono said investigations are currently underway and cautioned residents against taking the law in their own hands.
Investigation is ongoing concerning the case, and members of public are requested, or we are requesting members of public to have patience, especially when it comes to matters concerning suspects that are arrested. After arresting these people, we need to get information from them to assist us to prevent these particular incidences in future.
Authorities in Malava constituency, Kakamega County, are investigating a fire that destroyed a dormitory at Shamberere Boys High School. Principal Laban Sikolia says the fire started at night while students were in class and destroyed property worth 1.8 million shillings belonging to 78 students. Area Member of Parliament David Ndakwa, who visited the school and donated accommodation materials for the affected students, urged management to be more vigilant to ensure the safety of learners.
Wanafunzi walipoteza vitabu, wanafunzi walipoteza hata mattresses mingi na blankets na bed sheets, hata nyumba iliungua, inataka renovation ifanywe umo ndani.
Walimu wakae kwa shule, watoto wakiwa preps wanafanya rounds, ndio kitu kama hiyo ikitendeka tena wanakuwa na alert.
Time to make sense of shillings and cents in business. A training program has been rolled out targeting farmers growing the Nyota bean variety to equip them with best practices needed to access the European Union market. Alliance for Biodiversity CIAT Senior Research Associate Justin Mabea Machini says the pre-harvesting training aims to empower farmers to manage quarantine pests and diseases as well as comply with other European Union produce standards.
Consumption of beans has been rising in recent years, hitting the current 750,000 metric tons annually, with per capita consumption at 14 kilos.
These varieties are also drought tolerant and fast cooking, so they contribute towards resilience in household, especially among women.
Machine says, due to its fast maturing, richer in nutrients and takes minutes to prepare, the new Nyota bean variety is gaining traction among small-scale farmers and consumers.
Tutumia ile njia ya zamani ya kupanda na kisu. Wakati huu tunatumia jembe, unaweka mashimo, unaweka fertilizer. Kwa hivyo kama watu wakija katika kikundi ya ushirikiano, unaweza pata mawaidha vile tunaweza panda na vile tunaweza pata pesa mfukoni wa mama.
Plans are underway to enhance value addition to beans, allowing farmers to supply processors who can combine bean powder into consumable products like noodles.
Farmers will be able to get value for their money and value for their energy, for the effort they have put in farming.
To boost market access, a training program has been rolled out to equip farmers with skills and knowledge on the mandatory standards required to access the European Union and other markets. Regina Manyara reporting for KBC Channel 1.
The draft non-deposit taking credit providers regulations of 2025 will help restore trust in the digital lending service by the public. Tala Kenya General Manager Stella Mombi believes the new framework will improve services, streamline digital lending, and address emerging issues.
We've seen customers actually saying of their top 3 or 4 considerations on choosing a lender, one of them is being licensed by central bank. And that becomes a signal of trust, a badge of trust for any company that is under the mandate of the central bank. And I would say regulation in itself, especially now that we're having non-deposit taking regulations, will help to bring everyone under the same ambit of the central bank and create a standard of operation.
So it's been very open and collaborative, and that discussion has molded the draft version that we are seeing right now. We've had several rounds where we've engaged especially the central bank, and they've also told us where they're coming from, because the mandate of the regulator, of course, is to ensure there's that financial stability and consumer protection.
Elsewhere, a critical shortage in credible geological data is slowing large-scale investment in mining activities. Kenya Chamber of Mines Chief Executive Officer Brian Simiyu is calling on industry bodies to develop a comprehensive mining white paper recommending reforms that prioritize large-scale geological data generation.
The Kenya Chamber of Mines and the Institution of Engineers of Kenya say the key constraint facing the extractives industry is the absence of investor-grade geological information needed to support long-term, high-risk mining projects.
We have the mineral resources, but we now need to move to what I would call proven stage. The proven stage is the investor-grade information. The general information for the public is, yes, Kenya has minerals, but investors don't go with that information. They want a more structured and systematic view, which is really based on engineering knowledge.
Have about 1% contribution from the mining sector to the GDP. And we know there's a potential that this can be grown to up to 10%. We have seen recent discoveries for mineral deposits. We are talking about gold in Western Kenya. We are talking about rare earths in Mrima Hill. We are talking about coltan around Embu.
To address this, the Kenya Chamber of Mines, the Institution of Engineers of Kenya, and other stakeholders are developing a comprehensive mining white paper, partly modeled on Australia's mining framework, saying that the country is widely regarded as a global benchmark in geological data generation and mining governance.
And the idea is, what will we do in order to grow mining from 1% to 3%? So these initiatives that we've talked about, improving permitting, improving on geological survey and data, improving digitalization, because one of the other big challenges that we have is overlaps in mandates. We need to streamline so that we're working seamlessly and make it easy for investors at various points of the value chain to actually invest.
There is a need to be aware, to market the country for investors to be able to come, but generally also to do responsible mining, because of the fact that when we do this, when we do mining, we interfere with the environment, and restoration and reclamation is necessary so that we actually involved in sustainable mining.
The document is currently undergoing stakeholder consultations and is expected to be finalized by the end of the first quarter of the year. Trevor Ngendo for Lunchtime News.
Rolled out a safety campaign aimed at promoting everyday safety while reaffirming its commitment to protecting crypto users. Saruni Maina, Regional Operations Lead at Binance Africa, says Binance uses advanced security measures including encryption, multi-factor authentication, withdrawal controls, and continuous monitoring to safeguard users' digital assets and personal information.
We've equipped our border riders through the association with helmets today and some reflectors, as well as knowledge. And this knowledge goes beyond their safety on the road. It's also safety of their funds even as they get into the crypto space.
The provision, as you can see, of these 35 helmets
through this campaign is therefore both timely and impactful.
Further afield, U.S. fast food chain Papa John's is scaling up operations in Nairobi in an expansion drive that is expected to create jobs and support farmers. The company says the opening of 2 new outlets will support employment opportunities, especially for young people and part-time staff, while reinforcing competitiveness in Kenya's hospitality market.
We still do a lot to educate our teams and to build that knowledge with our teams in regards to food safety. But there is also just a lot of work, especially when we onboard suppliers, understanding these are the requirements in order for you to fulfill like the requirements to being a supplier.
We had 9 stores in Nairobi with 1 out in Narok. We feel there's a huge potential still for us in the Kenyan market, in the Nairobi market specifically. We are opening, our new shows are going to focus on different neighborhoods and different satellite towns around Nairobi. And definitely we'll go out to the other towns.
Non-oil exports in Nigeria hit a high of $6.1 billion in 2025, representing an 11.5% increase year on year. For decades, oil exports have been the main driver of the Nigerian economy. The government has invested heavily to diversify the economy and prop up the country's non-oil exports. Here are the details of this and other stories making headlines from other parts of the world.
The Nigerian Export Promotion Council says the record $6.1 billion non-oil export in 2025 is a clear indication that the government's diversification drive is working. Nigeria exported a total of 281 non-oil products to 120 countries in 2025. The products included cocoa, urea, cashew nuts, sesame seeds, aluminum ingots, copper and rubber, among others, and much more. The logic is that the more the exports, the more the dollar inflows to ease pressure on the country's currency, naira. But while goods volumes are rising, Nigeria still exports mostly raw or lightly processed goods, limiting its earnings and competitiveness. Meanwhile, Sudan's gold industry, a key source of foreign currency, is reeling under ongoing conflict, infrastructure damage, and collapsing trade ties. Sudan, one of Africa's leading gold producers and exporters, has seen its vital gold industry suffering severe setbacks after nearly 3 years of armed conflict. With fierce fighting sweeping across much of the country, critical infrastructure, including roads, electricity supply and mining facilities, have been heavily damaged, which is crippling production and exports. Gold mining in Sudan remains largely traditional. Since the outbreak of the conflict, gold processing and trade have been disrupted. Finally, widespread snowfall and freezing rain have swept across much of Germany since Monday, disrupting major transport services nationwide and forcing flight cancellations at key traffic hubs in the country. More than 70 flights were cancelled at Frankfurt Airport as the icing operations continued throughout the day. German rail operator Deutsche Bahn reported extensive delays and cancellations on multiple major routes, including services linking Berlin and Hamburg. In the capital city of Berlin, bus and subway services were also disrupted, adding to commuter difficulties.
Time for the sports. The Kenya Volleyball Federation Division 2 Men League enters its crucial second leg this weekend at the Nyayo National Stadium, with teams battling for promotion and league survival. Friday's action tips off with the Desert Warriors facing the Deaf Volleyball team as JKUAT takes on Micro Spikers in the early kickoff. And in Europe, the UEFA Champions League phase came to a close last night with 6 more teams joining league phase winners Arsenal and second place Bayern Munich in the last 16. That is Liverpool, Tottenham Hotspur, Barcelona, Chelsea, Sporting and Manchester City. Arsenal maintained their perfect campaign with a 3-2 defeat of Kairat Almaty as Bayern Munich of Germany overcame PSV Eindhoven away from home. La Liga giants Barcelona beat visitors FC Copenhagen 4-1 to finish 5th as Liverpool thrashed Karabakh FK 6-0 to finish 3rd, followed by Tottenham Hotspurs, who beat Eintracht Frankfurt of Germany 2-0. 6th place Chelsea had to fight hard to beat Napoli 3-2 at the Diego Armando Maradona Stadium to eliminate the French side. Manchester City sealed the top 8 positions after a 2-0 defeat of Galatasaray of Turkey as Inter Milan of Italy overcame host Borussia Dortmund of Germany by the same margin to stay in the playoff zone. Real Madrid of Spain missed a last 16 berth after they suffered a heavy 4-2 defeat away from their host Benfica, which saw them finish 9th in the league phase as their Spanish counterparts Atletico de Madrid were also heartbroken by Bodo Glimt, who edged them 2-1 to stay in the competition. French giants Paris Saint-Germain and Newcastle win Friday.
The cross, Mbappe with a late run, and that's what he does. Leadus gets it away. Sheldon with the middle, that's where it's going. What each? Blistering Benfica. Pavlidis delivers.
Rocking back. Oh, Courtois losing it in his near post. And he's done it again. Sheldon up second. Goulart cuts it back. Mbappe! His second. Ornus hangs it up there. The goalkeeper's out! Oh my goodness gracious me! This is unbelievable! A diving header from Trubin! Able to see.
Arsenal back to winning ways, but the highlight was a score by Benfica goalkeeper who scored just in the last minutes. Anyway, we wait for tomorrow and find out who the players play. Arsenal booked their place in the final of the inaugural FIFA Women's Championship Cup after an overwhelming 6-0 victory over Moroccan side AS FAR Rabat in last night's semi-finals at the Brentford Stadium. The Women's Champions League title holders were in ruthless form after their victorious outing over Chelsea in the Women's Super League on Saturday and were 4-0 up by halftime thanks to goals by Sweden striker Stina Blackstenius, Freda Maanam, Mario Cadenti and Olivia Smith. African champions AS FAR Rabat tried to fight back, but they had no answers against Arsenal, who fielded a strong side. Star player Alessia Russo completed the rout with a brace in the remaining half to set up a meeting this Sunday against Brazilian champions Corinthians, who shocked out American side Gotham FC by a solitary goal in the other semi-final.
Potential handball. And she makes it 3. Very. Here's Olivia Smith now, though. Sets her sights and fires it low at her area. Low drive. Last block comes back to Alessia Russo. And Arsenal have another. To pick out Russo. Leaves her defender in her wake. And she scores her second.
We wrap it up with tennis, where Australian Open defending champion and world number 2 Jannik Sinner will meet Serbian Novak Djokovic in the semi-finals after both cruised through their quarter-final singles at the World Lover Road. Sinner beat 8th seed Ben Shelton 6-3, 6-4 and 6-4 as Djokovic scrapped through past Lorenzo Musetti, who retired after an injury while leading by 2 sets of 6-4, 6-3.
That only he can. court 5.5 hours longer than Djokovic. And that was something that Taylor...
15-14.
Very well, and on that note, we've come to the tail end of this live broadcast. Thank you so much indeed for joining us. Since 1 p.m. it's minutes to 2:30. Many thanks, and especially for those who have made this broadcast a success. Not forgetting my director for the day, Timothy Kiplagat. And also allow me to also recognize we had Lucy Maura initially, but now we have Lensa Odingo on the sign language interpretation. Many thanks indeed. Do have yourself a blessed afternoon ahead.
Whisper I do to my beautiful ebony eyes. So we're going on a summer holiday to make our dream come true. A easy like Sunday morning. Tell me how I'm supposed to live without you.
I've achieved by winning 2 trophies, one in school and one at home. I'm acting for Gundu. I mean, your own neighbor has followed you up to here.
In today's book, Baraka and the Big Worry Cloud, we meet Baraka, who also gets worried too much and too often.
Rollis Ron Rex really right.
Rex really right.
And today I have a simple recipe for you. So I'll fry my sausages and then I'll garnish them after.
Hold on tightly and nurture it, but allow it to grow.
Je, wewe ni mpenda soka? Na je, wajua kuwa KBC mwenzio wako wa dhati michezoni anakujali? Ndio maana KBC Channel 1 hukuletea taarifa na uchambuzi wa soka.
CAF ndio wamechukua usukani
humu nchini, barani Afrika na ugaibuni, ikiwemo EPL, Serie A, Bundesliga na ligi zingine. Mashabiki pia hutuzwa kwa kujibu maswali kuhusiana na soka.
Swali letu la leo.
Haya yote ni kwenye kipindi cha Dunda Dunda kwenye KBC Channel 1 kila Ijumaa kuanzia saa 5 asubuhi hadi saa 6:30 mchana.
Na Wakenya